What's up, y'all? It's AJ Simmons. So today we have a great interview for you guys. I'm going to be interviewing Mr. William Wade, a guy who was able to take his cleaning company to over $240,000 within his first 12 months in business, y'all. It's a two-part interview. This is part one, and it's great. So let's just jump right into it. I'm about to turn it over to the call now.
All right, so what's up, y'all? It's AJ Simmons checking in. Today I got a special guest. We have a guy who's been a long-time member of the Clean Biz Network mastermind group. He has been killing it with his cleaning franchise. And he's a very inspirational dude. I think a lot of people who join the group really look up to him. And he's really starting to make a name for himself, and I'm honored to have him on today. So I want y'all to go ahead and get ready to enjoy this interview as we get into it, and then I welcome Mr. William Wade, a.k.a. Mr. Wishing Ain't Doing Enough. Man, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Mr. AJ?
I'm pretty good, man. I appreciate you taking this call, man. How you doing today? You all right?
Yes, sir, I'm all right, man. I appreciate you allowing me to, to speak my voice, man. I've been wanting to get in touch with you for a while.
Definitely, man. So you already know I'm gonna jump right into it with the first question, which is, I want you to kind of share your background info. Tell us your story a little bit, how you got started in this industry, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I had another occupation going on, if you want to call it that. And I had an uncle. He was doing, janitorial service through Jan Pro. And I was looking for an out. And I wanted to stop doing what I was doing because it wasn't profitable for the long term. But my maturity of my mind wouldn't allow my destination to happen because I was still around the same people that I grew up with, and we were still doing the same thing. So life happened, and I ended up going to prison, and I stayed there for 4 years, and that was one of the most inspiring 4 years of my life because I was not around my children. I have 3 boys, and that's my heart. I'm a family man. I love my family, and as I was riding down the interstate away from everything that I love, I realized that something is wrong. Something is wrong with the way I was thinking because I jeopardized everything that I really wanted in my life for, quick gains.
Right.
So as I got to the prison, I started doing a little research, and I remember my uncle was doing in Jan Pro, and I had a friend, a female friend, and I had her come out and go to like 5 or 6 different janitorial franchise. And she used to send me the FDDs in, and I used to sit down there. I had me a textbook. I used to have law books in there, and so I read every page of like 5 of them. I was going through, looking at stuff. I was highlighting. I'm trying to figure things out, and that's how I got into it. And so in there, I was telling folks I'm going to get out and start a business. I was like, man, I'm getting out and getting a business. And everybody, no, Wade, you can't do it. You can't do it. What make you think you can have a business, man? So I kept studying day in and day out. It's 18 hours some days I would stay up studying so I could, change my mentality.
Right.
Because as I told you, my mentality wasn't ready for my destination.
Right.
So I had to really focus on that first.
Right. And, how did you do that, though? How could somebody who was in prison, you know what I mean, and come from a circumstance that you come from, how did you have the ability and the know-how to just go research? What got into you to want to go research, to look on the internet, to, whatever you had to do that? What was in you that made you do that?
Well, it's strict determination and wanting to be a better father. That's the first point, because and that was my main point. But also, I had started reading. I started reading, and I started loving reading. I started reading, started the Bible. I started my spiritual journey. Then I got into a guy named Robert Kiyosaki. And so everybody gets on through Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I sent my auntie a letter and told her to give me this book. And I read every Robert Kiyosaki book he had, and I was hooked. I was hooked. I started studying. I took Robert Kiyosaki principles, and I ran a store. Because I'm a hustler, so I ran a store where your store is when you got 2 for 1s. Right. So I would get paid $20 a month. They would take half because I needed, I had fees I had to pay. So I had $10 a month. I was also studying Dave Ramsey where he said put a little to the side. So I'll put $2 to the side. I give church, I send a church $1, and then I would use the remaining $7 to buy me a couple of hygiene, which was another lot, and I took like $3 and bought me some snacks. And then I flipped up from $3, and just kept going, and I kept reading Robert Kiyosaki books, and I stepped using his principles.
That's crazy, man. That's what's up for you, just a hustler all the way around.
Man, all the way around, man, and I'm looking forward to I used to document everything that I was doing. The same thing that you're doing out here, I was doing in there, but I was doing it on the paper and pen. And so I have like books and stuff. Like I used to go every Thursday. I used to do all my financial statements. I go and get all my calculators. I have my calculator. I break down how much snacks I have, how much money that I have on my books, how much money I made, the profit loss margin, what I can invest, how much I can put to the side. I had it every Thursday. I would go down and folks was looking at me and they said, "What you doing?" I said, "You have to set your mind to where you want to be." I had a folder in there. I used to carry my folder around like it was a laptop. And they was like, why you carrying this folder around? I said, "This is my laptop." I said, "I have to set my mind," because I was also reading personal development books and law of attraction, things like that. So when I came out and I seen you and I heard you and you was spitting some of the realest stuff that I was reading, I instantly gravitated to you, man. I instantly gravitated to you. And one thing that you told me to make me invest in you off the bat is that you said pay those accounts off for 4 months. Now, I knew everything else that I was hearing at the time because, remember, I'm just starting. So a lot of the legal stuff, the taxes stuff, the accounting, all that stuff, I had already been reading on and been studying on. And you were giving game. Like you were talking about LLCs. I knew all of that because I had studied it. But what I did not know, and I had because through experience, you learned to pay them off quick. And when you told me that, that was a game changer. And I said, man, you know what? I'm going to jump in this group and I'm going to give him what he wanted.
That's what's up, man. And you've been killing it ever since, too. And that made me think, too, so because I'm listening to you, right? I think you said your uncle had a cleaning company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So did you ever work for him?
Yes, I did. I worked for him for about maybe 6-7 months, and we used to go out, drive like 45 minutes, and I used to hate the drive. Hate the 45-minute drive to clean like 30 minutes and come back for 45 minutes. And at the end of the month, he'll pay me like $100. And I was like, man, I don't mind helping my uncle, but this drive killing me. And so I learned from that, I don't want all my accounts too far.
Right. And then, so what that made me want to ask you is, since you had cleaning experience with your uncle, then you had business experience with all your hustles and stuff. I want to ask you, do you think that experience is mandatory in order for somebody to be successful in this business?
That's a tricky question.
Right. And because I don't think it's a right or wrong answer. I just like to get everybody's opinion for the person that's listening who ain't got started yet, who's wondering, well, can I even do this? You know what I mean? So do you think they need experience first?
I do not think you have to have experience, but I do think life experiences will teach you along the way. So I think, in a sense, everybody has some type of experience if they want to jump into this. It's just they've been learning it, but they don't know they already know it. Right. So, and my fact, like if you're talking about, do you need to know how to clean? You think about it as a child, you had to go clean your room. You had to go clean. You had to do this. So you seen mama clean, daddy clean, or wherever you were, you seen somebody clean. So you kind of know that this is dirty. I need to make it clean. So, to me, that's all you need right there.
Okay. Well, and I want to jump back into some of the things you touched on earlier, mentioning prison and stuff. And I know some people listening to this now might say, okay, well, I got a record. I can't do this. So I want to know, how did you get started, even though that you had a record?
See, I studied, like I said, and I knew that if you come with capital, a lot of people don't worry about what your background is. And so, as I was telling you, since I was studying and I was saving my money in the store, over the years I came out with over a couple $1,000 from, started with 3, just going up, flipping, focus. So when I read the FDD, I was like, they didn't say it. They didn't say nothing that you couldn't do with a record. So when I got out, my record didn't hold me back, not one bit. I told some of the people, I went to like 3 different, I started off reading 5. I narrowed them down to three, the three that I wanted to go when I came home. I went to those three. One of the guys I was talking to, I told him I had a record, and he was kind of leery about, the face he made and his body language. It kind of let me know that wasn't a company for me. And then I went to another company, and he was really too much trying to sell me. He was really trying to get me in. So the reason why I chose the company that I chose is because the guy, he was just starting off. The company that had a bankruptcy, and he had just started off a year and a half before I came into it. So he was new, and it was him and his wife and his son. They was all inside, the office, and it was a life family thing. And I told him what I wanted to do for my children, how I wanted to change my life. And he was more interested on where I wanted to go with my life. He was so intrigued that I knew, I studied. And I keep saying I studied because you don't know how much I had to study, because I had to change my lingo. I had to talk different. Right. I had to change. I had to walk different. Everything.
And it's funny. Now that you mentioned that, it made me think too, because I know how much I had to study just, coming from the street alone. But for you to have to come from where you came from, like when my brother just came home, he had to, not only do you got to readjust, like learn in business, but you just got to readjust to life in general.
Man, I can't wait to put these books out. I'm really focused right now, listening to you so much that, you said serial entrepreneur. You talk about that, and I listen to a couple other people, and I really want to get into real estate.
Yeah.
But I keep focusing on, I'm focusing on this right now. I got books and stuff I want to put out, but hey, it's in time that I'll come.
Absolutely. And speaking of real estate, I was listening to Jay Morrison the other day, and what
that's my guy.
Is what? Yeah, that's it. He's man. That's the only. I can't mention everybody's name because they're not paying me to mention them. But Jay Morrison is too real for me not to mention him. But he was saying in that video about how a lot of times we'll just write off ideas and things before we even try. And so that's what you didn't do, and that's what helped you, to get the success that you've been able to acquire so far, was you was able to say, you know what, yeah, I got this record, but I'm going to try anyway. I don't see anything in this thing that I can't, you know what I mean? And we got to stop telling ourselves, oh, I can't do it because I have this thing. You could just try. You don't even know. So I like that you stepped out on faith and you did that.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And so now I want to jump into mentioning the record. Do you think it's prevented you in any way, whether it be getting certain accounts for your cleaning company or even psychologically? Do you think it stopped you in any way?
It did not, but when I came home, I had a friend, like I said, it wasn't a girlfriend, it was a friend. She's down. She didn't have a record. So I brought her in as a partner just in case. I wanted to cover my area ahead of time. So I brought her in as a partner just in case it's something facility that I couldn't go in. I could send my partner in, and I let her go in and she can do it. But I haven't had to use her at all. I haven't used her at all. It's funny that I say that because I've been having so much success that in this business that I forgot I had a record to a point. I went to try to Uber Eats. I wanted to do Uber Eats because I like to make a little extra money on the town in the daytime when I didn't have any daytime accounts. Right. And I filled out the application, and they said they wanted to check my history, and they emailed me back or whatever and told me that I couldn't do Uber Eats because of my history, and I had forgot I even had a history. I'm like, dang. Right. I'm like, wow, that it is hard out here for some people, but Right. I think God that it's not that way for me. But my biggest challenge, as you say, is that more money brings more problems. So Puffy said it, Biggie said it, a lot of people may know it already. But the thing is, my mentality has changed a lot, but coming out, making as much money as I did for the first year. Think about it, I was in prison I topped out at like $40 a month. Right. You know what I'm saying? So $40 a month, I come home, 2 months later, I get my LLC. Well, no, a month later, I get my LLC started. A month after that, I talked to my franchise, and we started going. 3 weeks after that, I went through the process of getting the training. They give me an account. Now, I start making money. Right. And shoot, to be honest, my biggest setback is not putting the money aside like I should have. Right. I had a lot of things. I had no clothes. You know, I hadn't had my car I had an old car, the 91 that I posted. I had to need a new car. I had my kids coming back. They needed things. So I couldn't do it. But I wanted to go out and have fun. I've been gone for a while, so I wanted to go kick it. I wanted to get back with my child's mother, and that happened. So I had a lot of other focuses. I think that'd be the thing, not being focused on what I wanted, like not being as focused on my business as I was when I came home.
Right. And I think too, you being hard on yourself because you know what you're capable of, but because how can you definitely focus?
I guess I got a little you in me. Yeah, I hear you say that all the time. You say you can definitely push yourself more. And sometimes I lay around in the house and I be like, man, you need to get up. Right. I be like, man, I feel lazy. I'm like, man, I need to do more. Right. And so yeah. Yeah,
and the way you work 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, you always the first one up in the group and stuff. So I already know you're getting it. But let me ask you this then. Like as far as long-term goals, what in 20 years, what do you see? Like, are you trying to grow your cleaning company as a legacy business that you can pass on to your kids, or are you just going to build it up, sell it, and then maybe move on to the real estate?
I struggle with this one. This one goes back and forth in my mind because actually my son he's 16 now, my oldest. Right. And so I want him to run this. 2 years I want to hand it over and say, here, son, run this, because he's working with me right now. He knows everything that I do. So I really want to hand it to him, but I also want to grow outside of my franchise. I'm looking into residential or another kind of cleaning aspect so I could grow it, because I don't feel comfortable with them having so much control over my future or my child's future, because I love that I started with a franchise because I needed money coming in, wiped in, and I knew that I guaranteed money. I didn't know I was going to supersede that. I didn't know how much I was going to have. So I know for a fact that I don't think I would have had this much success if I'd have started on my own, coming from, not having the backing that a franchise has. So for me, that was a good play. But passing it on to my child, now that I know more and I'm out here, I kind of think that I want to branch off into real estate and another business, and then, still have it. But, 20 years from now, I don't see myself cleaning, not me.
All right, man, that sounds good. I mean, I want to ask, you got any last words of advice that you want to give to the people?
Man, I say what I always say, wishing ain't doing enough. It's not doing enough. You can wish that I can change my life. You wish that you had more money coming in. You wish that you didn't have to go to this job 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. You wish you didn't have to take this from the supervisor. I wish this man would leave me alone. All these wishes that people wish, it's not doing enough. You got to get out there and go get it, man. It's scary at first, but it's also a thrive. Like when you see yourself accomplishing some of the things that you didn't even know that you could, man, that builds you up from the inside. That builds you from the inside. They say a tree grows 4 different ways: up, down in the roots, the inside grows where the rings are, and then it grows outward. And so I believe that most of our growth needs to grow from the inside. And so as you continue to grow up, your inside grow, and that's what happens that's what happens when you go out and you start your own business. I believe you grow more internally.
Absolutely. That's Mr. Wade, y'all. This type of stuff, this is what we get all the time from him. Y'all about to witness this. And I hope he start a YouTube channel from here and keep going, man, because we need this type of stuff from you, man. If they want to follow you, how can they follow you? Social media, YouTube, anything you have, man, how can we follow your journey?
Right now, you can follow me at William Wade on Facebook, Mr. Wade 337 on Instagram, and Wishing Ain't Doing Enough on Instagram.
Oh, you already know my motto, everybody eats.
All right, I appreciate that, man. Everybody stay blessed, man. And remember, wishing ain't doing enough. You got to get out there and go get it.
6 figures or better should be the common motive, but y'all just trying to see change like Obama voters. Money ain't my only love, but it's the main goal, and I'ma get it deal or no deal like the game show. Will I succeed? That's rhetorical, cause my face looking like a dead president memorial. Ask around, they'll tell you how my grind be. Money longer than the lines at the DMV. But don't confuse this with bragging, this is motivation. The grind like you on a handrail rollerblade. Cause a lot of y'all turning into weed heads. your pockets broader than the back of a she head. Yeah, I know that line went over your head, but you know you can count on me to say what's supposed to be said. And I'm always thinking how to earn more. That's why I got money schemes bigger than Howard Stern knows. I'ma go get rich today and leave my daughter's mouth closed like stores on Christmas Day. Cause it's a lot of people hoping I fail. So I'm pissed like when I heard SIMMONS.